backwards. If it wasn't for Latinos, black people would not have the freedoms that they enjoy today. Did you know that, yes, the 14th Amendment is for y'all, but Latinos already had citizenship because of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Mexican Americans were given citizenship. That's why if you look at our paperwork, we are classified as legally whites, because back in the day, the only people that were allowed to have citizenship were white people. Because when Mexican Americans being labeled as whites, they were able to fight for freedoms, integration, and desegregation rights. They were forced integration after Latinos had already proven and won that same shit in court in 1929.
Just so you know, Mexico is extremely racist. So we have what are
like Guatemalans,
even to its own Mexicans. So you got to remember, Mexico was dominated by Spaniards. The only reason I look the way I look is because I'm 65% Spaniard.
Yeah.
Mexicans, like real Mexicans, or which is known as Mexica, not Mexico, Mexica, are 5'4", super dark with big noses and the heads pushed back. Aztecs and Mayans,
like Indians.
Like Indians. Yes. Well, we're natives, right? Yeah. So we're blended. So the reality is, in Mexico, till this day, if you are not light complected, somewhat tall, you're frowned upon to this day. And by the way, they're very open about it. It's not like it's a secret. It's not like it's a hidden.
Yeah.
You're short and you're dark, and we don't like you. So the fact that it's so funny to me that Mexicans cry racism when they practice more racism in Mexico than America practices on anybody else.
In the years before the Civil War, Mexico provided a place of refuge for many enslaved people fleeing bondage in the United States. Though Mexico had abolished slavery decades earlier, American slave owners would hire bounty hunters to try to recapture escaped slaves who crossed the border. However, Mexico refused to comply with these efforts and fought hard to defend the freedom and safety of the refugees. Mexican authorities confronted armed groups of slave catchers, leading to violent skirmishes where lives were lost on both sides. Despite the risks, Mexico steadfastly protected the human rights of escaped slaves, granting them asylum and starting new lives. Mexico's commitment to liberty in the face of pressure from their neighboring country shows how standing up for human dignity requires sacrifice and bravery.
For the individuals that know Spanish, yes, read that very paragraph down there where the N word is highlighted blue. Now I'm going to read the translated version of it. The oldest inhabitant of Mexico, according to some, is the black man, and according to others, the Opami. The existence of black men and giants is a common belief in almost all the races of our soil. In their various languages, they have words.
You know what's also amazing is, many will say before you in open face that me or my people have no culture. You can't make these things up. See for yourself. Look at what's being said. Look right here.
Black American culture, what is it, y'all? Entirely stolen from white people. Like I said in another video, Cuban culture is more closely tied to, related to, similar to African culture and Africa than Black American culture is. You guys are far removed from Africa. Your entire culture is white people culture that you've adopted and made your own, because that's how culture works.
The fact that you could fix your mouth to literally say this proves the point that everybody loves to make when it comes to Latinos. Y'all practice racism and anti-Black racism towards Black Americans all the time.
Seriously, I'm gonna keep saying this until I die. American culture is Black American culture. It just gets filtered out and watered down and whitewashed until they can give credit to a white guy. Jazz, country, rock and roll, rap, all Black American creation.
But there is sort of an American culture, and these admittedly are downstream from race and ethnicity.
Well, I don't think it's paperwork. But I also don't think that if you're white and you've been here for 2 years and you're from Norway or South Africa, that you're more American than someone who's the direct descendant of slaves.
Are descendants of slaves really American, though?
Yeah.
What makes them American? Because they've been here.
They've been here, and they've fought in every single war since our country's founding. So yeah, I think people who shed blood, who fought for the soil of our land, regardless of the color of their skin, are more American than people who got here 2 years ago.
Most of that blood has been white blood.
Sure, that doesn't change the fact that the individual who lost their life or who sacrificed doesn't change that fact. I mean, proportionally, black men are only 13% of the population. So yeah, I mean, most of it is going to be white blood, absolutely. But there are brave black men in my state, in our state, who have gone to war, not just in the global war on terror, but in Korea, in Vietnam, World War I, World War II, the Civil War. Their contributions matter just as much.
That's true, but predominantly that experience has been one reserved for people of European descent. And I think it's important for us to make that observation and not just count that out.
Well, you can make the observation. It doesn't make it, it's an observation. It's empirically true, But look, if you're someone from Sweden or from South Africa, and you're white and you come here and you've been here for 2 years and you are on an H-1B visa, you are not more American than a black American or a white American who's been here for 5 or 6 generations.
I hear you. And we can move on after this, but I guess
cattle would be sold. After purchase, slave owners would often brand their new possession on the cheeks, again, just as they would do with cattle. The lives of slaves were dominated by work and terror.
The idea that I am not human, that I have no soul, that I'm a beast. Brand me, burn me, whatever, and no recourse. Nothing.
When learning about the truth, especially after they've been fed so much bullshit. So who better than moi? Take a good look at my face, past the whiteness. Look at the features, the bump on the nose, the pointy chin, the thin lips. I'm surprised I can say lips without any lips. That's because my mother was an Ashkenazi Jew from Baden-Baden, Germany, and my father was born in Russia, in a place now known as Ukraine, which was once also called Khazaria. There you go. Eastern European. So when they tell you that those people out there in that counterfeit country are Semitic and you're anti-Semitic if you speak out against them, call bullshit. Don't get it twisted, okay? Read John Hopkins in the Jerusalem Post. It'll tell you right there. 97.5% of those people are not of ancient Hebrew DNA, not Semitic. Do I look like them? Absolutely. I can't even go in the sun. I will self-combust. I know a lot of you, this is so hard to take. They're chosen. No, you're chosen to wake the fuck up. Okay? And I know it's hard. You just all floated back down from your resurrection. But do it. Wake up.
Of the man Israel. If you're a Christian and you believe such things, well, Israel is the teachings of the man Israel. If you are a person who believes that there is one true God and you should follow the law of the God over the law of the state, then you are Israel.